Okay, here we go. We're going to do a quick little tutorial on how to animate pictures into a video. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a background before the pictures to come on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to this little button right here, and I'm going to click on that, and I am going to do a color matte. And a new color matte. I'm going to keep these settings the same. I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to make that bad boy white. Hit OK again, and I'm going to call it white background. Okay, so we have our white background. I'm going to pull that right into the timeline to create the white background and to create your sequence. So we have it here. We're going to rename our sequence picture animation. And we'll have that there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our first picture and we're going to animate the first picture in. So we drag it down here, and that's the first picture of me doing some video directing. And basically I'm going to want this picture to animate in from right to left with a little bit of rotation. So whenever you're doing an animation, you want to tell the animation, you want to start with the end. So I want this animation to be about a second long. So I'm going to go right here to a second in the timeline. And I want the animation to end right here. So I'm going to go up here to Effects Control, and I make sure my clip is selected, and I have it right there. And as you can see, I have position and rotation. I want to click on these little clock-looking buttons, and what I'm doing is I'm creating what is called a keyframe. And the keyframe basically tells you where you want that video or what size you want it at that point on the timeline. So in this case, I'm telling it that I want the video to look like this, or I want this picture to be right here at this point on the timeline. So now in order to animate it in, let's go back to the back. And as you can see, it hasn't moved yet, but now we're going to tell it to start up here. So I'm going to mess with the position right now. I'm going to go and then blah, 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 and then up. Right, up, right, up. And now if I want to see where this is off screen, I can make my view a little bit smaller. I'll make it like 25%. And if I highlight position here, you can see where it is off screen. And actually, we might make it a little bit smaller here so we can see it better. So that's where my animation is. So I'm going to keep moving it up and left, and I want it to rotate in a little bit, so I'm going to go down here to rotation, and I'm going to turn it just a little bit. So let's make this back up to 25% and see how it looks. I come down here, hit the space bar. Not a bad little animation. Comes in off of a little bit of an angle and spins on its way in. Not too bad. I think I could use it a little bit faster, so in order to make it faster, I'm going to move the endpoints over a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lasso these guys, and basically to lasso, you just hold down on the mouse button and then pull it, and we're going to move it back just a few frames. So let's see, it should animate a little bit faster now. That's not too bad. I like that. One way when you're dealing with animations to keep it a little bit quicker, or to make it look a little more realistic, you create what they call ease ins and ease outs, and that allows it to slow down as it lands, and it gives it a more realistic look. So in order to do that, I'm going to hit Control, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to bring this up, and over here is ease in, and I click on that, and as you can see, it changes the keyframes a little bit. Those are the ease in keyframes. And that gives you the little animation. And as you can see, as it slows down as it comes in. Okay, so good. So we got the first picture, but I wanted to do 3 pictures. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to move to the, I want my next animation to start where this one ends. So I'm going to use these little buttons to take you back and forth to the keyframes, these little triangles, and to go to the second set of keyframes so that I'm marked there on my timeline. So then I'm going to go back to my project, bring in the second picture, and I'm going to put that on top of this one. Or not on top, I have to, I need to make a new, I have to put it in the next video column. So we're going to put it right there into video 3. And notice my cursor hasn't moved, I'm still at the same point of the timeline, and this picture is just as still. Now I want this picture to move in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here, I'm going to click on pick one and make sure it's highlighted. Go back to Effect Controls, and I'm going to highlight all 4 keyframes. I'm going to hit Command C to copy them. This is a straight cut and paste move. Then I'm going to come down here to pick 2, highlight that, and then I have to come back up in this box. So just click up in here somewhere. You can do it that way. Main thing is you have to have the blue circle around this without moving the thing. And then hit Command V, and boom, I have my second animation. So let's see how that looks. And not too bad. So first animation, second animation. Now I want to do the same thing with the third animation. So I'm going to take, I'm going to take my, go back to the other keyframe, and then the same exact thing after all. If you need to add a extra video channel, you can just come down here, and if you right click and then add track, it'll add an extra track for you. And as you can see, I've got track 4 up there. Let's see if I can bring that up. It's right there. So I'm going to go back to my project. I'm going to bring picture 3. So I got picture 3 there. And as you can see, I'm where the other one ended. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to my effect controls. I'm going to highlight this, hit Command C, go back to picture 3, make sure I'm highlighted on picture 3, and then make sure I'm highlighted up here, hit Command V. So then I have it. It is 1, 2, 3. And then that's my simple how to animate pictures on real down and dirty. You can play with this different ways if you want them. You can animate them in from anywhere if you want to. You can have them come big to small. You can just have them go left to right. I just wanted to show you the simple one, and you can use that to build off of. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you.